Hello, everyone. Janelle Stewart here with another moment and opportunity to make an investment in the life of your child. Today, I want to share with you one of my experiences I had with my older child. He was always an early riser, and I did not really know how to handle it. So, for the most part, I would just tell him to go back to bed. I would get him some milk. And it started really early. He was still in his crib at the time. And I would just get him some milk and put him back in his bed. Eventually, from him being there with nothing to do, majority of the time he fell asleep. And it's because I worked a full time job and I needed my sleep as well from going to school at night and then also working full time. I needed some sleep as well. So that's what I knew how to do. Now that I've had another early riser, the thought came to me because I've realized that even though children, it's best for them to get 10 to 12 hours of sleep at night, naturally, not everyone's internal clock is designed that way. Some people do need, and some children do need 10 to 12 hours of sleep, and they do better having that sufficient amount of rest. Where some children naturally probably only need 10 hours of sleep, and they can still perform throughout their day, be attentive, be alert, and be able to handle and be in self control throughout the day, even on just 10 hours of sleep. So, my child, my youngest, is an early riser. And so I was wondering, what can I do? Because he doesn't go back to sleep. And he just lays in the bed and eventually he comes in my bed and then all of a sudden it's disrupting our sleep. And so even though he's not trying to tell him to go back to bed, he's not going to go back to bed. So what was inspired what was I was inspired to do was, hey, make an early riser basket. And so I have a basket over here, if you could see. And I did not label the basket as yet because I do have more than one children. So I was wondering, do I label it and put everyone's name individually on it? Or could just label it early riser. So then, or good morning. And so even using the term early riser might be labeling your child as well. So even a nice greeting like good morning, wake up, or something positive, so then they could just have something to look forward to. And so in this basket, because he's older, he's school age. In this basket, I put things, and there are a good amount of things in this basket, but a lot of choices, and you want to give a lot of choices. But I put things in this basket where he can do independently when he wakes up. So even though he might be in his room, this is not something that, the choices I put in there, he's going to pretty much stop and ask me to help him to do it. These are things that he's interested in. Mind you, it has to be things that your child is interested in. So that way the attention span will be a little bit longer so you can get some rest. And it has to be something that they can do independently. The purpose of this basket is that way they don't feel that they're being punished for being awake, for being an early riser. And at the same time, then you don't feel bad that you need some sleep and you want to get that sleep. And then you don't feel like you're neglecting your child. Because at some point, when I used to do it with my older child, I did kind of feel bad because I needed the sleep, but then I'm leaving him unattended. And then you have that parental guilt. So this way you don't feel bad, but at the same time, your child is benefiting from being up that early, and they don't get into negative stuff. So then they don't become disruptive to the rest of their siblings, or walking around and making unsafe choices while you're asleep. And then at the same time too, they're benefiting educationally, academically. So it depends on also what you put in this basket. It's up to you what your goal and your intention is for creating a good morning basket. And it can change. It don't always have to be the same thing in the basket. I would recommend that you change it twice a week. If this is happening Monday through Friday, or just on the weekends, you want to change what the choices you put in the basket to keep their interest. Because after about 2 or 3 days of probably playing with the same thing, I'm sure they would eventually start losing interest. And then you'll find the waking you up, or asking what else they can do, or even going to find other things to put in the basket. And the purpose of this is not for them to fill the basket on their own, but they can help with filling this basket. So if the night before or the week at the beginning of the week, if they want to choose what they would like in this basket. And now, mind you, if your child is at that age, then you can give them that responsibility. So you can say to your child, what would you like in your good morning basket? And so then therefore they get to choose, and then you say, okay, this is the choice that you've made. So then when you wake up, you're not making any other choice. You're going to make the choice from your good morning basket. If your child is younger, then you would have to make those choices for your child, especially if they're like, mobile infant, like 10, 12 months. And I would make sure it's things that they're not able to choke on. Soft books, soft toys, and even if make sure it doesn't have small parts, because mind you, you're going to be sleeping. So even if the child is still in the crib, you want to make sure that there is no risk of the child choking on any of these items. And you'll be surprised what your kids will do with some things that you never would think of. So this is new for me too. I don't have it all down. I just was inspired to do this, and I wanted to share it with you as well. That way you tell me if it's working. Try it and let me know. Comment below or go on my my email, and at Janelle Stewart at parentsmakingaaninvestment.com, and reach out to me and let me know if this is working, because I would like to hear from other parents too if this is working for you guys, while I'm trying it as well. And I'll give you feedback and let you know if it's working. But my son, actually, when I mentioned it, he was excited about it. But these are not things that, back to the basket, these are not things that you have to spend a whole lot of money on. Like this, you can find this at the dollar store. This is a play pack, grab and go, and they have different kinds of play packs. So depending on what your child is interested in, you can find a play pack. And usually in this play pack, it just has like a book to color, and it comes with crayons. So these are things that are for children that can do things independently, like coloring and stuff like that. And then I would suggest that it's crayons, washable crayons like Crayola. So if they tend to get the sheets kind of messy, because mind you, they could start out doing this on the paper, and all of a sudden it's like, it's a good idea to color on my sheet, on my pillowcase. And so those are things that we have to stretch our mind to think that far in a child's mind, because those are things that can happen, and it might not be intentional, it might accidentally happen. And so if just to keep you and aware of those things happening as well. And then another thing is this I got at like Target. And so this is, it's just an alphabet card. So if you want your child still recognizing the letters of their alphabets, and that's what I'm saying, where it will help also academically, depending what your goal is. For me, I always mix, play and work together. So that way learning is always taking place. And so if I'm saying that he needs to be working on writing his letters, this is just a little card, and they're wipe off cards. So, and it comes with a a dry erase marker attached into the pouch. And I believe I got this at Target by the dollar section. And they could just write their letters and it will just erase if they use their hand. It's not like the that more stronger dry erase marker, I think it's called by Expo or something. It's not like that. So you don't need a dry erase marker with it. It's just easy to rub off. And so I put like choices like that. And then I just find like little things that they can manipulate. So these they just get at like the dollar store. And then this way they can manipulate it and try to put it together like a puzzle. If you do have small puzzles, you can put that in there as well. Like small little paper puzzles. I know the dollar stores sell them and they're like only like 10 or 12 pieces. And it's not big and it can still fit in this basket. So you can find things that can fit in the basket. So things that they can manipulate by themselves independently. I also put like a bag of Legos because I know that my kids like Legos. So you want it to be also something of interest, of their interest. And so this is something that I know that he spends more time doing. And actually his attention span for Legos is big and long. So he would probably spend half an hour to 45 minutes just manipulating these Legos and building. And so this is a must-have. I do and will change it out, but I know at the start of this basket, it's best to put this in there because this is what he enjoys. And so I would recommend that at the start of building and creating a Good Morning basket, put those things that you know that your children really like and they stay at for a long time. Now, as you can see in this basket, I didn't put any like tablet in here or anything like that. And the reason being is my kids get up and they're allowed to have their tablet on Saturday morning and it's like a treat for them. And so they have their headphones, but they're older. And so they do have access to it. But because I don't want it to be something that they are able to do and want them in front of every single day, so then I would not put this in the Good Morning basket because they know out of routine, that's what they do on Saturday morning. So I personally wouldn't put it in there. If you're going to use it, I would recommend that you also know how much time you want your child on it. And if you're saying that your child wakes up usually an hour before you do you want your child for the entire hour on the tablet? Me personally, I don't. So then therefore, I would not put it in here. Maybe one time out of the week, I'll put it in there, and then maybe don't put one or two other choices. So that way, if they're done watching it, or if they want to do something else prior to their tablet, then or iPad, then that's available to them. But I wouldn't do it and put in there every day. And I'm sure, just like you've already done, you put programs on your iPad that the children are able to access independently. And so my child's iPad is set up that way. What's on there is stuff that they can access independently, and it does have parental control on it. So, and I know that what they're watching is my approval. So I wouldn't even worry about whether they turn that on and what they're watching or not. But I just would not give them that, in their Good Morning basket on a daily basis. So, but other things too that they can access that I buy, like I said, Target. That's why you see this, this clearance tag on here. But just stuff like how my child is moving from kindergarten to first grade. So then I have sight words. So then that way, while he's there, he can just, go over his sight words and just say them out loud quietly to himself. And then that, too, at the same time, learning is taking place. I mean, learning happens whether we put the right things in or the wrong things in. Learning happens. And so, but I'm sharing this with you so that way we could be planting seeds positive seeds and investing in our children in a more positive way. So that way, when the seed grow, we see results, and it's positive results. So then also flashcards, numbers. So it could be numbers, letters, wherever your child is academically, developmentally, you could put that in the basket. I also know that my kids, they're into like origami. So even just paper, just to give them to be able to make and create things. My kids love to do this. They just make things out of paper all the time, and they will sit for like an hour to do this, make fortune games and stuff like that, and color it and do surprises on the inside and everything. So they do those things independently. So those are things that I've put in here. Now, I've given you a lot of ideas, but like I said before, I wouldn't really put all of these ideas and choices in the one basket for an entire week. I would pretty much put and mix it up. Like this that holds his attention span, then I'll just do like one sight word so learning can happen, even though he's learning with this as well. And then and if he wanted to listen to something I have, it's so funny. I have like this little school bus that's like a playway. So then you just put the earbuds in this, and it turns on. And what it does, it has like 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it has like 4 books stories. So it beeps like how you read a book out loud. It does that. And so he's listening to the story on this little school bus. And I got this through Scholastic Book Company, and it comes with the books, so that way you can let your child, even if they don't know how to read, you set up already. And so you just put the headphones in, and then they can put in their ears. And even if your child don't know how to read, they can look at the pictures and be able to read along with the story. So they'll press the story, it has a volume. And so, but your child would have to pretty much know how to access and to be able to do this independently for this kind of choice to be in the basket, depending on your child's age. So I would just kind of rotate all of these things throughout the week and change it up probably after like 3 days. And so hopefully that helps. I actually put all these choices in here, but I'm going to take some out because I am going to try it with my my kids, and hopefully it works. And you let me know if it's working for you. Just send me, email or comment. I would love to hear. And also I would love for you to share this video with somebody that's saying that, my kid does not sleep, and I am up early in the morning and already fixing breakfast at like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. My kids are up and I don't know what to do with them. And so this is just another way to say, you know what? It's okay for you to be awake. It's okay for you to be an early riser. And I don't want you to feel like you're being punished because I'm tired and the lights are still off or the sun's not up yet and the house is quiet. But here are quiet things that you can do, and therefore you can start your day, and that way I can still get the rest that I need. And so I hope this video helps you, and please subscribe below to parentsmakinganinvestment.com so we can continue on this journey of investing in our children. And also you can find me also on Instagram as well, and subscribe to my my website, so that way we can stay connected. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to me. I do have a contact number there, and you can also reach out to me via email, JanelleStewart@parentsmakinganinvestment.com. Thank you, and I hope that you enjoy doing this for your kids, your Good Morning Basket. I would really love to hear from you to see how it's benefiting your child. Thank you.